Good. So Lanny was not able to be here when we gave the other grant checks out, so there you go. For 3 Oaks.
So the consequences I have to be a
That's
call.
right. So we did ask.
For those of you who don't know Lanny is the executive director of 3 Oaks. That started out as a homeless shelter for men, and has expanded dramatically to include families, to focus now on vets. And what he asked us for this year for the money, and we were so happy to do it, was to fill the gap for medication costs for veterans who, until they can finally get into the system and be taken care of it. It's pretty expensive, and it's a big need. Anyway, I'll let Lanny expand on all that and perhaps a little bit about other things that 3 Oaks does.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me today, and thank you very much for this. First, I want to tell you that Barbara Thompson is one of the great women that live in St. Mary's County. And I admire her so much. So many years of watching her give to our community, and it's a pleasure to see that she's leading you now. That's great. Thank you, Barbara. I also wanted to say that I see a lot of folks I've known for a very long time. My mayor, quite a while. Mr. Reeves, quite a while. But one of the other great folk that live in St. Mary's County is Evelyn Golf back there. So good to see you this morning. And I could just go on about Evelyn Golf and what he's done for our community over the years. For youth with your wife and doing those programs, it was amazing. Kathy back there, she's helped me so many times over the years. Thank you, Kathy. So I want to tell you just briefly about 3 Oaks. We've been in business since 1993. We opened the shelter in 1996. It took 3 years to accomplish that. I had nothing to do with it. I showed up on the scene in 1998 when the shelter was serving 6 men. It had 12 beds. There were only 6 men. They built a 12-bed shelter, and only 6 people were being served there. It was ridiculous because there were many, many men on the street. So what we did, we decided you don't wait for the homeless to come to you. You go out to the homeless. So it's an outreach program. It's anything. Since that time, we've grown to serve approximately 1,300 folk every year, and that's homeless individual men and women. That's young women with children. That's single women, and among those that you can imagine are the drug addicted, alcohol addicted, high mental health. You don't get homeless just because your paycheck stops, usually. Those folks, as we see it, usually have a family network, and they're supported by their families. It's rare that we have someone who's simply fallen on that sort of hard time, but when we have that, we can cure it really quickly. It's these other conditions that make it difficult to do what we do. In most recent times, we've recognized, as has the hospital here, that homeless people go to the emergency room, and when they're treated, the hospital is very concerned, of course, and that they don't want to put them back on the street. And sometimes they're not quite well enough to come to us in what was in the past our traditional ability to serve them. So in the last few months, we've worked with Dr. Michael here, whom I've come to really appreciate in a very short time. We worked together to develop a program where sick homeless people will leave the hospital and come into a medical respite care program at 3 Oaks. And of course the goal is not only to get them well with the assistance of MedStar, who is going to provide the medical attention for them at our site, but to help them regain a home at the end of that process. Work with them, try to do the things that are necessary to make them stable and make them successful in a home. So that's a huge effort, and we're very grateful to MedStar for that support, and we look forward to working with them over the years to accomplish that. Lynn talked about our veterans program. 4 years ago, we began serving veterans, specifically veterans, through the Veterans Administration, Veterans Affairs. And we had been serving veterans from the beginning of our existence. And we were starting to see a spike and we were serving more and more veterans. And so we went to the VA to ask them if there was a way they could help us support them. And it didn't come quickly, but over time they recognized what we were doing, and we were able to get a grant to serve not only the veteran, but the veteran's family in the Tri-County area. In the first year, we served 132 veteran families. In the second year, we served 140 veteran families. And what I'm happy to say now is that those numbers are starting to get lower because of our ability to serve them. So now we're, in fact, instead of seeing more veterans who are homeless on the street and we're working hard to get them stable in housing, we're now starting to see fewer of them, which is good, exceptionally good, and we're now working with the veteran who's at risk and that family that's at risk of becoming homeless. So our work is showing fruit. We are working hard. That's our goal. We want to reduce homelessness. We know it's never going to go away completely, but we want to be able to address it quickly and get people into housing as quickly as possible. The other thing that we did around veterans, at the same time we were working with the hospitals, we created a new Veterans Resource Center in our new facility. And that is to enhance what we already had with what we call the Veterans Supportive Services Program. And it provides a new employee with a couple of college interns. And they are going to work on specific things like finding a job, getting them well connected with the VA if they hadn't already been. A lot of our veterans here find it very, very difficult to go to Washington and try to connect. They get there, the red tape. A lot of them have mental health issues, they have health issues, they don't feel well when they leave to go there, and when they get there they feel even less well. And so we try to be that buffer or that advocate to work with them, and we're going to be able to do a lot of that here now through the computer system that was set up largely through Booz Allen, who helped us establish it, and it's got all the bells and whistles so that people can connect and get to their services right online, right in our building, and that's a great thing for our veterans. So that's what we've been doing. It's time for me to go to work now, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer some.